great.
Yeah. How are you? How are your holidays?
Uh, they were great. Lots of family time, which can be a challenge, but also I think just like as I get older, it's become more and more just illuminating and a beautiful, beautiful kind of opportunity, I guess, to just see where I'm at with my triggers and where I'm at with keeping my heart open, even when it wants to close. So, yeah, it was really beautiful. How were your holidays?
It's so funny you say that. You quite literally took the words out of my mouth because that's how I see it now too, which is I'm at the point in my journey where my triggers are my teachers, and so I cherish those who disturb me the most. It's a very strange thing. And with family, there's so much of that heavy past conditioning,
Right.
and so often triggers you. And so, yeah, I use it as spiritual practice to like observe myself to see why am I getting irritated, and then to learn, you know, as it points to the remaining ego within you that has yet to be dissolved and let go of. So,
Yeah.
um, but outside of that stuff, it was a very fun time, just relaxing. I spent a few days in Vermont. So,
Fun. Oh my God, Vermont is beautiful. I am happy for you. I hope you got some connection with nature in.
oh yeah, yeah, we were in Burlington, so it was like, and it was snowing, and we didn't ski, but just kind of like cruised around and spent a lot of time in nature.
Fun, fun. Well, I love it. Well, I'm just so soaked and excited to be here, to be joining Awakenpedia and just connecting with this whole community deeper. So thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. I was really looking forward to our chat in particular because when we connected that first day, there was such a authentic, deep, electric resonation between
Mm,
us, and I think it just signaled the alignment in our frequency, how we see the world, and our levels of
yeah.
consciousness, and therefore our values, right? And the intention we have with what we do and why we do it. And so, yeah, I echo your excitement, and I'm so grateful that you're here to be part of this growth journey with us. And yeah, I'm excited to introduce you to the community and everyone who tunes in. And I just, you're such a bright light. I just want everyone to hear about you and
Mm,
to hear your story and everything you offer.
thank you. I appreciate that. And it's just like, I know in our first chat, we were kind of talking about just being mirrors and how everyone we're always mirroring. And yeah, just like one point that you made, it's like when that vibrational connection is so strong and so apparent from that initial interaction, like that, I'm just so grateful to be at a stage in my journey where I get to experience that. And often, not only with you, this Awakenpedia community, but with my clients who I'm working with, like that is what lights me up. Like that is why I do this work, and the knowing that like that is what I want for my clients as well as for myself, so the knowing like, okay, if we aren't a vibrational match, I want you to go find who is. So yeah, and just kind of like that's why it's beautiful to be a part of this web too, is to be like, okay, so you're looking for energy work, like either it's with me or some other absolutely incredible human being here. So
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, awesome. Well, then let's dive into you and hear about your journey. I think that's a nice way to kick things off, which is just to kind of let you talk about your past and
Mm,
not to focus on it by any means, but I think it's helpful for people to get some context as to, how it led to this moment right now.
mm.
And so, yeah, if you could talk to us a bit about your awakening journey that's led you into holistic healing and, what you do now.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you for cueing that. Yeah, so I guess just like starting with childhood, where it all begins, at least in this lifetime. I just growing up, I was always a very very hypersensitive, empathetic child that, you know, the classic, oh, you're such an old soul, you know, hearing that time and time again growing up. And even like when I reflect now as an adult woman and I look back upon experiences that I was having and initiations that I was going into, like spiritual initiations, even as a child, knowing, yeah, like I was absolutely returning to source over and over throughout my childhood, and even things like astral projection and lucid dreaming that have just always been a part of who I am, and I do believe have been a huge part of why I, you know, there's the skeptics out there, especially when it comes to energy work and the more like spiritual, less physical, tangible realms of healing. And I'm grateful that I had those initiations as a child, because to me, this work immediately made sense. It's like, I almost describe it as, you know, like the earth being watered. Like it just seeped in, there was no barrier, you know, so I am just incredibly grateful for that. And with that, you know, being a very sensitive child, there was also like a lot of challenge and a lot of pain, and you know, like it's you know, classic story, like my parents separated when I was very, very young. I actually have no memory of like really them ever being together, and just like growing up in a broken home, growing up in a space where as a young child I was holding a lot of space for emotional space for both of my parents, and just, yeah, kind of taking on that role from a very young age and kind of growing up quickly, um, kind of pushing myself into spaces of perfectionism of, you know, like I have no safety net, so I cannot fail. Like it's just, I only have me, kind of that, you know, that was a pattern that was very deeply instilled in me. And I'm very grateful that at this phase, like, you know, it still pops up every now and again, but I am grateful that I now allow myself to be held, and I have moved through deep, deep kind of just forgiveness energy when it comes to my experience with both of my parents. And honestly, if I had to chalk up like one reason, one why I'm here on earth right now, it's to learn to forgive. And just like we kind of started with, like keeping my heart open when it wants to be like, no, like fuck you for upsetting me or hurting me in some way, you know. It's like, no, I can understand, like we are all just moving through the world doing the best we can with what we have at any given moment, myself, yourself, everyone watching this included. So yeah, when I was 18, I grew up in Wisconsin, Milwaukee area. When I was 18, I moved to South Carolina. I was there for college for about 4 years. And then straight from there, I moved to Malaga, Spain. Lived in the south of Spain for a couple years. And that is where, like, really, truly, I just blossomed into who I am today, I would say. Just the art, the openness, the connection. For me, the water is a really, really healing element for me. Water and earth. And just allowing myself to go fully into that space, without that conditioning, without the past of, you know, no one knows me here. Which I think it's beautiful to have those lifelong connections where people get to see you evolve through all the phases, and equally as beautiful to have someone meeting you in this present moment exactly as you are. I think that's priceless. And when you can allow yourself to truly be seen in those moments and drop in, pause, be present enough to truly see another, that to me is healing. And that's also a big part of my sessions and all the work that I do. But yeah, art has also been a really big part of my healing journey. Writing, poetry, music, movement. I'm a yoga instructor. I facilitate breath work, meditation, sound healings. So yeah, I went through my yoga teacher training when I was living in Spain. So it's been about a little over 3 years now since I've been teaching yoga regularly, and I love it. I'm so grateful to just be able to witness people experiencing that bliss of what it is to release through movement and explore their own bodies and consciousness. So yeah, that's a very like cliff noted version. I guess to finish now, I'm living in Minneapolis, Minnesota, where it's quite chilly right now. So yeah, I do a lot in my community in person here, and I also do a lot online. It's about 50-50 with my business right now. As far as just, I teach online yoga classes, online breathwork and meditation, and primarily I'm facilitating online Reiki, energetic, and emotional release sessions for clients too right now. So yeah.
Yeah, it's such a joy to listen to you, truly, because you speak from the heart, and it's so rare to hear people that are so connected and in tune with what is, with the truth, and to have had that direct experience of walking the path, and to be living it, the living truth, quite literally. So I really appreciate just hearing you and empowering your voice to share it with the world, because this is the healing, right? Like being the teaching. I love how you said that, just holding the space and being the presence, because it's that frequency holder, and holding that space, that vibration, that is what allows people to heal. And that's where all you have to really do as a teacher or a healer is to be the teaching, which is to be itself. All you have, it's just being,
right,
being present, exiting your mind and entering your heart, and living from a state of love rather than fear. And you express that through different modalities, through different avenues and roads, whether that's Reiki or breath work or meditation or yoga or any of these other things. And that's how I see it. You just are packaging love in different ways.
right.
It's
right.
so beautiful, and I think that to hear you speak to that in your own words, but the essence is the same. It just really resonates so deeply with me. And the whole community for what Awakenpedia stands for, because that's the way out of this toxic dysfunction that we find ourselves in today as a globe, the world situation. So I'm just very, very, very happy that you're here with us and sharing your presence.
Thank you.
It's truly such a gift.
Same
and
to you. And just, it's evoking, as you were sharing as well, it's like I'm connecting these little threads, and it's like I say to my clients often, it's like we meet people that are key holders. You are a key holder for someone else. Someone else is a key holder for you, and it's infinite. Like there are infinite ways. I mean, it's like even just, and it doesn't even need to be this like spiritual work, it can be a smile to someone. It can be opening a door for someone. It can be giving, like whatever it is, like all these infinite possibilities where you are literally being, here's my offering to you. Here is my key for you. Take it, unlock that door, step through it, experience a deeper level of you. That is my goal through my work. And I am also deeply in awe and gratitude of all the key holders that have blessed me with keys of my own to unlock my own doors and write my own permission slips. And, it's like when we are showing up embodied, when we are showing up in our authentic truth, it is literally like every single person that's coming in contact with that frequency, it's like the teacher in class being like, or your mom or dad writing that permission slip and saying, there you go, baby, like, go do it too, So that's something that lights me up to be a part of that. Yeah.
Absolutely. Um, all right. Well, let's dive deeper now into. You mentioned the variety of modalities and services that you provide. Can you take us through what a typical client journey looks like with you? Just kind of help shape for us, how someone would go about working with you.
Right.
Is it one modality at a time? Do you incorporate modalities into, the client journey based on what they need? Or yeah, just like how does it work and what does it look like?
Definitely. Okay. So, as we've already discussed, I do have many different avenues that we can take. It all begins with pretty much an intake call, or really just, I think of it as like a vibe check kind of,
Yeah.
like we get on a call, we have a little consultation, and I'm very, very respectful of the level to which, the depth to which someone is willing to invite me into their experience, the level to which they are ready to be seen by me or by anyone really. So I pretty much invite everyone on that initial call into a space of, this is your space, this is your time, you are in control here. I am here to receive whatever it is that you want to give me about your history, your health, your goals, your emotions, your energetic being, about what, triggers are for you, what some patterns are for you, and also all the while, acquainting myself with their energy, observing what I observe about how much they are, in tune with their own energy or in tune with their own emotions, and also feeling out, does this feel like someone that I connect with and resonate with? And so, if it's a big part of my work too is emotional release. That's something that, whether it's the intention or not in the energy work that I'm doing, it often does happen and come up. And I just want it to be very clear that I am in this work to hold a container that is free of shame, free of judgment, a space where someone can fully express and emote with as little reservation as they can muster, essentially. So I do make that clear in my sessions and consultations. So whether someone has a goal about, working on their heart or being more embodied, a big part of my work too is specifically with women's work is, divine feminine embodiment and sacred sexuality and, lighting up parts of you that historically as women that we have had to hide or make smaller or have felt shame about. And just like working through that with women is something that I really can't, it's so incredibly humbling and beautiful. And I'm also grateful for the women who have held that space for me in my journey. So yeah, it's really just, it's a conversation. It's a heart to heart. It's an honest and open channel. And from there, we go into, what are you drawn to? Are you drawn to breath? Are you drawn to movement? Are you drawn to sound? Are you drawn to energy? Which all in all, it's like energy is in all of it.
It's all of it.
Right. Right. So it's like even just like making a distinction or separation isn't, I want to make that clear that it's not separate. But yeah, so definitely it can be a sound bath. It can be a deep, deep guided meditation where, I will make contact, because what Reiki is it's a channel, it's channeling universal energy that is benevolent, loving, joyous, and brings about greater ease, connecting you back to your center. It's like, I think of it almost as, like these pieces of us that begin to drift away. It just takes all these pieces one by one and with like the most loving kindness just brings them all back to you. So there's no wrong way to receive. I like to make that clear too. Because every person is unique and individual, every single session and way someone receives and the way I give as well is individual. So yeah, it's really just kind of assessing, okay, so, are your needs more physical right now? Are you working through an injury? Are you working through an illness? Are your needs emotional? Are you grieving? Have you left something that yeah, it's time. Like, are you in a deep initiation of finding who you are? All these different avenues that we go through in this beautiful human experience and journey. Um, that I get to then work with someone, a client, to find what fits best for them. And it can be breathwork, meditation, Reiki, and sound healing all in one session. And it can be just one of those, or two of them, So it's a tailored experience. And it's also important for me that the people that I work with know that I'm very open to feedback. I'm open to being questioned. Because it really is important for cognition. If you are understanding what's going on and why we're doing this, it helps in the healing process when you can envision, okay, so we're moving through, say, my solar plexus, that's all about ego, identity, confidence, self, and just even that envisioning. So a big part of my work is guided meditation too, and guiding people through envisioning themselves stepping into where they desire to be. So I hope that explains a bit about the process.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I love your approach. I mean, being able to customize and tailor your offering to the client based on where they are and what they're drawn to is incredible. And it's so necessary because everyone is unique, right? Everyone's emotional, energetic signature is unique like a snowflake.
Right.
And so their healing pathway is going to be unique. And it takes an artist to be able to curate that path for them. And so it's truly such an incredible skill set that you've been bestowed with to be able to offer this to the world. It really is such a gift because it's so, you can't force that, you can't, uh, you have that. I don't want to say you can't teach it because I think we can, obviously, right? We're facilitating this, so we're helping people to heal. But you in the moment, you either have that or you don't in that exact moment. So it's just a really incredible offering to be able to have a variety of modalities that you keep in your back pocket that you can incorporate into a customized healing plan for your client.
Yeah.
Really,
Yeah.
just is wonderful. And are your containers, like, how do you orchestrate that? Is it like 1 month, 3 months, 6 month, or one, like, how do you kind of package it together?
Yeah, definitely. So you can either do, like session by session. So you can book like a, distance Reiki session or sound healing, with the knowing too that like it can be all the modalities in one and just be called Reiki on my website. But so yeah, you can either just go, individual and kind of go at your own pace as you see fit. I do also offer a 6-month container where we do 12 sessions in 6 months. So we're working together every 2 weeks for half the year, which is in my experience, and as far as witnessing people through their journey and evolution and overcoming, that is a very, very powerful way to not only commit to yourself but to also give, as someone who is an unbiased outsider to your experience, it gives me the opportunity to just kind of mirror and reflect back to you throughout that 6 months of like, okay, this was where we were at on day one. Here we are 2 months in, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months in. And I think sometimes we need that because we're too close to ourselves at times to even see our own growth. And that's something that, like, yeah, really, I think all of us do need. And it again, like when you have the continuity, it allows you to really have gratitude and give yourself some credit. And I think also honor your own power. Because so many of us, you know, unless we are remaining in awareness and consciousness, we are often, you know, giving away our power and pedestaling even. That's something that as a practitioner, like I'm like, do not pedestal me. Like there is no difference. Like you are your greatest guru, you are your greatest healer, teacher, all of it. Like I am just here as a bystander, as a loving witness to you. So yeah, so we do have 6 months containers or 1 by 1. That is where I'm at as far as working with people right now. I am actually, over the next couple of months, I will be designing a program. So that is in the works right now.
Cool.
But I can't say too much about it just yet, but I am writing it right now.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Well, I'll be excited to hear that and to share it with the community when it's ready. But I also I want to echo what you mentioned about the longer duration programs and, you know, their importance. Because the survival mode state, the conditioned state, has such strong momentum and has been so deeply embedded over not only this past like one lifetime, but maybe, you know, who knows how many, you know, potential lifetimes this conditioning has been reinforced. And so just like how you don't get a six-pack by going to the gym one day, it takes time to unlearn, to unwire, to rewire. It takes a genuine investment in your true self to actually heal. And there is no elevator to the healed state in this journey. You have to sit with it. You have to be with it. You have to show up. You have to face it. This is the shadow work. And so yes, it's going to take some effort and it's going to take your participation, but it's going to be the best thing that you could ever do for yourself. You know, it's the truest form of self-improvement. And, you know, I just want to reiterate that for those who are tuning in and who are considering doing holistic healing, energy work, that seeing results does take some time because of the incredible inertia of that unconsciousness that is currently what you're plugged into, right? So to unplug from that and to begin to unlearn that dysfunctional state, it just takes time. So the longer containers I've also witnessed are the ones that prove the most successful when it comes to actually seeing tangible results.
And it's, you know, to echo you and to add, you know, when you say it's like the ultimate form, committing to yourself in that way is the ultimate form of self-improvement and self-love and self-trust. If you want to trust more in your life, if you want to be trusted, if you want to be able to trust and fully open up in your relationships, if you want someone to commit to you, if you want someone to love you, you know, it's like you gotta commit to yourself and love yourself first. And it's like, you know, that's something that years ago it finally hit me in my healing journey, specifically surrounding receiving love. Is, you know, it's like, if it's an energetic signature to show up in full love and commitment to yourself, regardless of what anyone else is coming to you with, and your truth as well, your expression, without, you know, it's like you can still have the fear of judgment, but not allowing that to stop you. That is, to me, like the ultimate form of self-love and commitment. And when you make that step, however big or scary it is for you, you know, we're all at different stages in this. You know, it's like some people are like, absolutely, like jump right in. Other people are like, this is the biggest thing I've ever done for myself in my life. And I have so much honor for both ends of that spectrum and everything in between. And yeah, the knowing that when you do that, that is like this beautiful like frequency that you're sending out to the universe, being like, okay, I'm ready to be loved, I'm ready to be trusted, committed to, fully seen. And it's just, yeah, it's beautiful. So yeah, the longer containers, although they can be daunting and a little bit scary, like I promise, like it's where the magic is. So
the magic is,
yeah.
absolutely. It is. I mean, and that's why I use the gym analogy, just because that's more relatable to people who are currently plugged into the world,
Right.
you know, in the material realm, where just, you know, see it that way. It's like, you're not going to actually expect any real results from going to the gym for a day, a week, even a month. It's when you go to the gym, you know, consistently for that 6 months, a year, where you actually transform physically, mm-hmm. right? Now it's the same thing, but what we're talking about is the spiritual transformation, which ultimately will transform your life on the levels of mind and body as well. So you get the 3-for-1. You might as well just do do it the spiritual way, because you'll get the benefits in your mind and body as well.
Right.
So,
I agree. Like,
yeah.
I could say so much more about that, but
I know.
It's like once you start loving yourself and healing, you're like, why would I put that in my body? Why would I not move and release and use my full potential and capacity that I have in this incredible human body in this lifetime, you know?
Yeah. Exactly. And that's what I'm referring to. Yeah. I know you see it. And it's like, because when the consciousness shifts and your whole interpretation of reality more or less reverses, or, you know, let's say you transcend, there's no way that, you know, your mind and physical world isn't affected positively as well, because everything's connected, right? The mind, body, and spirit are this one interconnected web of oneness. So anyway, not to go down that rabbit hole, but
I could do it, but I know that's not exactly what this discussion is about. But yeah, it's just here for it.
Well, I think this was a really nice just intro to you, and an overview of, you know, a bit about your background, your story, how you got into holistic healing, what you currently offer, your approach, you know, your specific style. And the reason why I do these, Eden, and I take the time to sit with every new partner, is because every new partner, regardless of what modality they focus on, is unique. Their energetic signature is unique to them. There's only one Eden, you. There's only one you. And yet at the same time, you know, we're all the same. But it's like that same but different, you know, it's never been more true. So giving people a taste of you and what you're like, to be able to experience your energy through this, is why we do it. And when people watch this, and if they resonate, if they feel drawn to you, that's the signal, right? That you're the one to work with. Some people may not resonate, and that's okay. And that's why we have different people, different points in the journey, different levels of consciousness, different ways of seeing the world, different ways of facilitating healing. But I just know that you are one of the purest ones, and I'm just so excited to see how you transform lives, and inside the community, outside the community. I feel so honored and privileged to have you a part of this, to grow with us over the many years to come. It's just the beginning in so many ways. And I'm really excited to just see how it all unfolds.
I am too. And that's why things like communities like Awakenpedia are so important, because every single practitioner that is involved here, every single follower, every single person here in this container that is this live on Instagram today, it's like we are all just different windows into the expression of self. And it's an honor. And when you truly decide, I want to be here, I want to show up, I want to explore, I'm curious, like I'm hungry. I am shifting from survival and I'm learning what it is to be embodied, what it is to be present and show up and witness and play. It's that, in my opinion, is why we are here. And when, when we are going through trauma, tough times, that embodiment, it's hard. Understandably, it's hard. And that honoring of all of those expressions of self starts to slip away and can become triggers. And, it can become, why is life throwing this at me? And again, that's why we still, like those embodiments of self, those windows and beautiful reflections don't go away when we're feeling that. And that is why, I hope that they continue to show up for me when I start to slip away and can bring me back. And that is why I am in this space doing this work, to be able to remind you of your power, of your truth, and the knowing like we are inherently made to always come back into balance, to heal. That is what we are as humans, as nature. I mean, that is all of nature. That is what nature shows us. And a huge part of my work and just like dharma and belief system mantra is that, like we are not separate from nature. I dislike when people try to say that about human beings. It's like, no, like we are here on this planet, this literal heaven on earth that we get to play in and exist in for a reason. We are not a virus. We are not invaders. And I think the sooner we really realize that and return to our natural selves and trust that process fully, that no matter how far away I go, I get to return back with open arms and like bathe in the waters of myself over and over and over again. That is what I want to give people in their sessions.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And it's the greatest thing you could give. It's if someone's ready to receive, it's the most precious, priceless gift that can be given and received. Because what it brings you is absolute, unshakable peace in the here and now. And it gives you the permission to be with no necessity to do or to have. All that is required is you exist. And that's bliss. When you know that you're eternally safe as an infinite being, the world becomes the playground, and you're here to play, to learn, to experience, not to take things seriously, but to always be sincere. And that subtle difference is what separates one from suffering or peace.
Absolutely.
And so I encourage people to sit with that too, to consider if you're taking things seriously or sincerely, because there's a world of difference between those two things right there.
And nothing has to change externally. Absolutely nothing. And I think that is one of the most empowering things that you could be, for lack of a better way to say it, in a living hell. But if you are able to shift what's inside, you can transform everything, like the whole way you experience. I even equate that to, like moving through life based, fear-based or love-based. It's like I can buckle myself into my car out of fear that I'll get in a car accident, or I can buckle myself into my car because I love myself and I want to take care of myself, and it's like someone witnessing me going through my daily life is going to be like, well, she's buckling her seatbelt again, but only I will know if it's out of love or out of fear.
Yeah. So true. I use the same example often when I talk to people. I use a homeless person as an example to determine, like, to showcase how it's your interpretation of the perception that creates your experience. Meaning, when you see that homeless man that is there talking to himself, and that's what is. Do you interpret that with fear, and you now are like, oh, I'm scared, I should walk on the other side of the street, I should avoid him, I shouldn't show him compassion or love or anything because he's crazy and he can hurt me, and all these other fear-based interpretations? Or do you see him as a human being, as someone just like you that's trying to be here? And do you see him for compassion? What's his story? All he wants is love too. Can you show him and extend compassion as one human to another, one being to another? Can you offer him love, food, comfort, pay for a hotel for a night? How do you interpret what's going on? And it's the same perception as you're saying, right?
Right.
But your interpretation is what shifts. And this is the beautiful nature and byproduct of awakening, and why I've committed my life to this journey, and why you're committing yours, because it's that powerfully transformative. It will literally change your entire life if you are ready, and you step into this, and you surrender to the unknown, and you open your eyes, exit your mind, and enter your heart. It's just a matter of willingness, and maybe there's some karma involved, and you got to be ready, like karmically speaking. But I think why we're here right now, why we're having this conversation, why Awakenpedia has come into existence, why this is blossoming as a platform, is because the world is showing us, the universe is showing that the world is ready for this. That the world is finally ripe enough to be able to receive this type of insight and healing solutions.
I agree. I so agree. And just the knowing too, at least this has been a part of my journey, is like, this has been the world is ready, first of all. And the knowing, like, this has been this culmination, this bubbling, preparing has been going on for infinite, since, I don't necessarily believe that human time exists in the energetic and metaphysical space, but since the dawn of time, we have been preparing ourselves for this. And the knowing too, like, a big part of my journey is the knowing, like, okay, even if in my human lifetime as Eden, I don't see that full ascension of our planet and the world that I know is inevitably going to happen. Like, I am so committed to playing my part, like the reason I'm here right now. And yeah, I'm just grateful to be able to be in that space of, like, almost just like, okay, I'm handing off my gift so that it can be carried on by the next ones to come. And it's like this infinite relay race, kind of.
Yeah.
All bringing us to that just full space of, like you said, like, returning to the heart. So
the evolution
yeah.
of consciousness, that's what I see it as, just contributing towards that evolution back into oneness ultimately, which is interesting because it makes it circular. But look, we're going to have to hop on a podcast sometime to flesh out some of these things. We'll save it for another time.
Love that.
There's a lot to dive into, and I think it'd be fun to do with you. But for now,
yes,
let's wrap this up with any piece of wisdom or advice that you'd like to share and impart with the world about awakening, healing, for those who are on this journey with us, who are aware of this journey.
yes,
Or who are not, wherever your heart feels guided to speak to. I'd love to just hear any type of guidance you can share with us.
Yes. So the first thing that comes to mind is just that you get to choose. Ultimately, at the end of the day, you have the choice to decide how you are impacted by the world. In my yoga classes, I often say, at the end, when we're in fetal position, we're embodying that little fetus that is about to enter into the world brand new. And you get to decide as you lay here curled in a ball on your side how much that impacts you. You get to choose if you get to experience a rebirth through your practice, if you get to wipe your slate clean and forgive yourself and show up brand new infinitely over and over. Like, that is a choice that you get to make, and no external force or person or words or concept can make that choice for you. And if you are ready to choose evolution, to choose love over fear, please join us. And even knowing too, that it's okay if you can't 100% of the time. None of us can. We have compassion, we have grace for you. And just really the wisdom that I would like to just bestow is that it's always a choice. And even if you feel powerless, remember that you have your choice. So
Yeah,
please choose accordingly. Yeah, that's what I'd like to leave everyone with.
amazing. So powerful, so true. You get to choose. Do you see the homeless man as from a state of fear or love, right? What do you see anything from either fear or love?
Right.
That's the essence there, and it's so important. In many ways, that's what you just described encapsulates the entirety of this awakening journey. One long transmutation of seeing from fear and then into love. And that's the journey.
Yes. Choose love.
Choose love.
Yes.
All right, Eden. Well, this was wonderful. Thank you so much for taking the time. And for everyone who tuned in, who watches this later, you can find more about Eden in our member form, her partner profile with her bio, direct booking links, discounts, other fun stuff. This video will be there too. And yeah, you can reach out to her there.
Perfect. I just wanted to add that all Awakenpedia members get 30% off all sessions with me. So whether that is online yoga, breathwork, or meditation, or if it is a sound healing and emotional release and Reiki session. So just know that if you are a member of the Awakenpedia community, that you get a little discount. So yeah, thank you all. Thank you, Cam, so much. I cannot emphasize how beautiful it is to just connect with you live. And I hope you all have a beautiful rest of your Tuesday.
Thanks, Eden. Yeah. All right. Talk soon.
See ya.
Bye.